Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome to all our viewers to our second edition of the Live Talk series, Let's Share. These are personal stories of hope, courage, and positivity. All speakers on this journey have either been caregivers or have been through the cancer journey themselves, and they help us understand what it takes to travel this journey and what is the effect of the journey on them. They are all those who have showed exemplary courage and positivity through different walks of life that they have come from. We will hear the story today of Dr. Chaturvedi. Today we are in conversation with Dr. Vasudev Chaturvedi. Welcome to the show, Dr. Chaturvedi. We are very happy to have you here with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My pleasure.
The first edition, if you have been with us, of the Live Talk series was on complementary and alternative medicine, where we were talking about health and fitness, dietary and nutritional well-being, psychoneuroimmunology, and many such related topics. This is the second edition. Dr. Chaturvedi is the second speaker on this journey. The first speaker last time was Kajal Palli. You can watch the video on our YouTube channel. Before I start with the introductions, a few points for our viewers. If there is a technical glitch, if the screen has to go blank, we will be back. We will be with you. We will finish the talk. It might take us a little longer than 9 o'clock, if that's okay with you, Dr. Chaturvedi.
Perfect.
So we might take a little longer, but we will definitely be back. If you have any questions, please leave the questions in the comment section of the media platform you are on. We will collate the questions and ask them to Dr. Chaturvedi as and when the topic comes up or at the end of the session. Thank you. A little bit about CAPIT. If you have been following us on social media, you will know we work in the area of cervical cancer largely, as the video shows you. All these years, we've been working on cervical cancer. We are a grassroots NGO and have been in the field for 6 years now. And we have stayed largely with mainstream information and awareness on cancer prevention and care. In the last 6 years, we have reached out to over 14 million people online and a number of people offline, and people that we have met, and our network is over 19 million people. And we realize our responsibility in bringing to our followers and viewers a more inclusive and a larger world view on tried and tested interventions in this area. So now we are going to move on to Dr. Chaturvedi. The talks in this session they address emotional, physical, and spiritual areas, among others. Dr. Chaturvedi has been a caregiver and a cancer survivor himself. He is the founder and general secretary at Swastava Cancer Care. It is an NGO focusing on awareness and early detection of cancer in Hyderabad, which is very similar to what CAPIT does. Our journeys have also been quite similar. Dr. Chaturvedi's career spanning the last 50 years has been involved with private as well as public sector, governmental, multinational, non-governmental, and multilateral organizations. At the age of 74, as you will see today, he is still full of life. His passion is to create awareness and early detection through screening for cervical, oral, and breast cancers in women over 40 years in rural India and in SAARC. He's very passionate about the girl-child vaccination for HPV, and we will talk to him about how he wants to go about it. A little bit about his journey to where he is that Dr. Chaturvedi's wife had ovarian cancer in May 2005, and she passed away in March 2014. 2 years later, in March 2016, Dr. Chaturvedi got colon cancer. He is a survivor and a caregiver, and he says music therapy has played a big role in his life dealing with his and his wife's cancer. We will hear from him how his journey with cancer changed him and resulted in the formation of an NGO that reaches out to help others in the field of cancer. Tell us more about your journey, Dr. Chaturvedi, and about your learnings through that journey.
Thank you so much. Can I start?
Please do.
Viewers, a great Vinayak Chaturthi. Today is a wonderful day.
Yes.
And then let us do a little prayer and then start it. Shuklam Bardharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Jayat Sarva Vighnopashantaye. Now, this is a very auspicious day for me because Mrs. Mridu has invited me to speak today. I think, sharing experiences will also give a lot of impetus to many of the cancer survivors, patients, and so many other people as well.
It is our honor, Dr. Chaturvedi.
Yeah. Thank you. As rightly said, my wife died in 2014 after living for 10 years, stage 3 ovarian cancer, which is a miracle. Because living that long did not happen in once in 1,000 ovarian cancer cases. It happens.
Correct.
2014 she died. I'll talk about her a little later. And then I had a big void as to what the world became totally silent to me. My 2 children live in the US, and then I had to spend my time here. It so happened in 1994, I registered for my PhD in management, which could not be completed because of so many obligations and so many responsibilities. So I took up that. From 2014 to 2016, I sat and completed my PhD and got my doctorate.
Oh, wonderful.
In management.
That is really wonderful. At that age, to still go back to learning. Brilliant, Dr. Chaturvedi.
Yeah. And it occupied my time because that is one real good factor which every cancer person should remember. Never think of your disease. And I kept myself so busy for 2 years, completed my PhD. At the same time, I was working for a cancer hospital, Indo-American Cancer Hospital in Hyderabad, as Vice President, Corporate Services. I was bringing patients from Andaman Islands all the way to Hyderabad to treat them. Almost about 275 patients had come during the time I was there, and then cured and went. Only 2 or 3 cases we packed and sent. Otherwise, all people went very safe.
Wonderful.
Yeah. It so happened that, in September 2016, no, not September, I think it is the month of May. May 2016, I went to US to spend some time with my children. There I started feeling a discomfort in my stomach. I was not able to eat well, and also we like some good single malt whiskey. We were trying to share, but I was not able to enjoy. And my children were very much worried. Though I went with about $500,000 of insurance, I was also worried because I didn't want to fall sick in the US.
That's a big worry.
Yeah. So I returned, and I was working at a cancer hospital, so I went for a checkup. They found that my hemoglobin was 7.6.
Oh.
Even then, it did not strike to some of the doctors. They said, you go in for iron injections and all these things, and started pumping. My niece and nephew are doctors in Florida. So when I was sharing this, she said, don't be stupid, immediately go for a colonoscopy. Because at this age, there is some loss of blood, that's why your hemoglobin has fallen. So you must go for a colonoscopy. So I went for a colonoscopy, and there were, the probe could not go because there was a tumor. Yeah. And then within 3 or 4 days, I went in for surgery. Luckily, the chief of surgery, Mr. T.S. Rao, happened to be the same surgeon who did surgery for my wife. So I told him, with your surgery, she lived for 10 years. I want you to do the surgery. And, in a cancer hospital, you see 1,000 people coming in, probably 20, 30 death cases where they are packed and sent. So you get into the stream of cancer. You know what is happening there day in and day out. And a real worry about cancer will be gone. Because practically you are seeing what is happening there. Patients coming in, some people coming in for stage 4, dying, some people coming in early, getting saved and going. So I was totally not worried because I have seen my wife for 10 years and also working, luckily, in a cancer hospital. So I was smiling and going into the theater. People were laughing at me. People would go with a morose face and then almost weeping and enter into the theater. Then I said, what's happening?
There was no need to be shocked now. You've seen so much of cancer.
I've been seeing literal human suffering I was seeing.
Yeah.
So it didn't touch me at all. So the doctor said, wonderful, please come. Then I said, I want to see Dr. T.S. Rao before surgery is done, because I want to see him doing my surgery. Then he came, shook hands, hugged me, and then the surgery started. I said, "Doctor, don't worry. I'm an aged man. If everything goes well, I'll walk out. Otherwise, you'll pack up and send. Don't worry about all that. Do a best job as you did for my wife." And then it happened, and I was in the ICU almost for about 10-12 days, because it was a colon connection was given, and it had to heal, and some gases have to go, and all the doctors are telling, I can't discharge you. 12 days they kept me. In the meantime, something very, some incidents cannot be forgotten. One of the patients from Andaman Islands had the surgery, and he wanted to come to me personally and then say, "Thank you very much." But I was in the ICU. So he wrote a slip and sent, "Sir, I wanted to thank you for all the help you have done. But I understand you are also having a surgery and you are in the theatre. I am leaving you in the hands of God." That's the message he has written and went. I started getting tears, because the affection people have, really. That is the way people show affection.
That you have created, Dr. Chaturvedi, when you do for people and you are helping them, that's what you get. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
The love and the care you get from completely unknown people.
Yes, I did four screenings in 4 islands in Andaman Islands. I took my doctor's team and did screening for cervical cancer, and then saved a lot of people. All of them, where we traced, were brought to Hyderabad and treatment was given.
Wonderful.
That's my mooring with Andaman Island. I like it so much. That way, probably there is a link with me and some islands. I did similar work in Maldives. There is one Maldivian Cancer Society of Maldives. One Jue is the president. She likes me most. I like her most, because we do common work, and then with dedication and commitment.
Yeah, like-minded people.
I'm an executive committee member and also a director for international relations in Cancer Care India. So I brought her into Cancer Care, and then a team of doctors, we went to Andaman Islands. We visited, and it is speedboat travel, and then it's a great experience. And we started.
But it is medically still neglected. We don't have that much care at that end. The Northeast, the Andaman Nicobar, it is.
And it was a big news when you go, and then when an Indian team is coming and doing screening, it goes viral. People will think that is the concern India has for us, and also they also realize that screening is important.
Yeah.
So that is what that's what really has given a lot of impetus to us. So this is how it happened. Then I started taking my chemo. This oxaliplatinum is such a dreadful drug. Let me tell you. After 4 years, I still get some itching in my hands, and also numbness in my feet. It is because of oxaliplatinum.
So this is something for the patients to know, that there are some effects, but that is okay. Exactly. There are side effects.
Yeah, terrible drug. I'm not scaring people, but I'm only trying to tell. This is what happens. And then I took 7 rounds and told the doctor, "Sorry, enough. Well, let anything happen. I don't want to take anymore," because protocol was 12.
Okay.
I said, "Let me stop." And then I switched over to alternate medication. I have a friend of mine who does a little herbal product combinations and giving. He makes all the combinations. Not that some branded thing is brought and given. No. And, luckily, as luck would have it, my lymph nodes got filled, which needed, and when biopsy was done, we found it cancerous again.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. But then my Ayurvedic doctor said, "Don't worry, give me 1 month or 1 week you give me. Don't go for chemotherapy." He gave some drug. In 1 week, all the limbs got drained, and then when I tested again, nothing was there.
Wonderful.
Yes. Let me tell you, people do not believe. And if you really ask a doctor, he will never allow you to go anywhere. When I told my own oncologists in my hospital, they were telling me, don't tell, this is bullshit. If you give, tomorrow they'll come in 4th stage, I won't be able to help them. But then, why didn't you allow people to take the medicine of their choice? And the Ayurvedic medicine was giving me no side effects during, in between the chemos. And, terrible. Generally, there will be vomitings, nausea, motions, and whatnot, everything.
Yeah.
And you will not be having energy to take the next chemo. But this drug, these Ayurvedic herbal medicines were giving me appetite to eat, no nausea, no fatigue, nothing. And right from my childhood, of course, I tried to learn music, but somehow it could not get into my mind, except listening to good music. I always spend minimum of about 1 or 2 hours every day. I sit and listen to Carnatic music and good songs, good ghazals and all these things. Now, that is what really helped me to recover. Today, my PET CT says I don't have cancer. My tumor markers are minimum, though I can have about 9, it is only 0.34. And then, yes, and then my ultrasound says I'm totally happy, nothing. Today I work like, as you were mentioning half an hour back, I feel only 55, not 75.
That's wonderful.
At work.
Are you still taking those Ayurvedic medication, or is that also over now?
See, that is something which tones up even the liver. One more thing, one more fantastic thing is, there is fatty liver for everyone. Whether you drink or do not drink, fatty liver is supposed to be there for everyone. Show me one medicine, English medicine, can reduce it. No. They say take liver 52. Nothing more than that. But fatty liver totally is cured, and your liver becomes as tender as it of a child's liver.
Oh.
Yes. That is what Ayurvedic drug can do.
So you're still taking it as a maintenance almost. You're taking the Ayurvedic medicine just to keep yourself fit and going.
100%. I take 2 things. Pardon me, the public also will take it kindly. At 75, I can be happy. I take Ayurvedic medicines for maintenance. I take 2 small single malt, the best single malt in the world, 2 times a week.
Perfect.
That makes me happy.
Perfect equation. It keeps you happy, keeps you going. You have so much energy. You're doing so much of good. It must be the perfect prescription.
Yes, when I keep a glass of whiskey next and then sit at my computer, I don't know how the time is passing. I complete my task and then I get up.
Perfect.
So well it happens.
So it's all keeping you going. But I wanted to ask you, Dr. Chaturvedi, that when I was reading your story, you said that there were others in the family also who got cancer, right?
Yes,
There was a sister-in-law, there's a cousin, all of them.
Yes.
Did they also go on the Ayurvedic medication? Is it something to do, was it genetics? What is it was there any connection? Did you find out anything about?
Unfortunately not. You see, 1995, my cousin's wife got ovarian cancer.
Okay.
Taxol and all that, I'm sure you know the names of the medicines that are used.
Correct.
Taxol came into India at that time for the first time. And doctors also were not knowing how to use Taxol. High doses, very fast drip, used to upset her a lot. And we used to feel miserable seeing her suffering.
Yeah.
So,
That time cancer was really, there was not enough knowledge on cancer in 95.
And doctors also did not have enough experience with these drugs.
Yes.
And she died. For some time she was okay, she was driving her car, and subsequently there was a relapse and she died.
At that time there were more fatal cases than saved cases in the 90s. Yeah.
That was the first death of cancer in our family. Second is my wife. Third, my cousin who lost his wife, his grandchild got blood cancer.
Oh.
From India, they went all the way to California. He works in Google, he's a director. And then, there the treatment is given in the best hospital, but nothing could happen. Nothing could happen. The boy died. And that
how
has
old
given,
was he? How old was he? Was he very young?
he was 10 when he died.
Oh, childhood cancer.
No, he was 12. Got it in his 7th year, and then he suffered for 5 years and died in 12th year. That gave a death blow to most of us in the family, and my wife started thinking, because young child, I'm 55, no problem if I have, but why a young child should suffer like this? Is there an end to this? Unfortunately, another cousin's daughter, only daughter. Husband is in a very big position in California, 2 children, and she got breast cancer. Breast cancer treatment started, I think it was in a very big hospital in, I don't remember the names, in California. Breast cancer, secondaries were to skin cancer. And it is a big blow to the entire family, because much younger than my first son, and she died. So cancer gave a real cancer in our family.
Yes. It's a mental stress, and there are so many other repercussions to the disease that we have to factor them into a family state. But all of this happened before you got cancer, right? You discovered
Yes.
Ayurveda much later. You didn't have
much later.
Time. Oh.
Much later. But then these 2 deaths had really pulled my wife down.
Oh.
Within the family, and she loved them most. She went to US and then stayed with them for some time. Oh, this is terrible. What I learned about caregiving is only one thing. Never allow anybody to come near you and sympathize. अरे तुमको कैंसर है क्या? तुम बोलने में क्या हुआ मेरे को? What happened to me? You are only intensifying my cancer.
Yeah.
It so happened when I took my wife for an ultrasound to a hospital where I was working as a vice president. She was sitting in the ultrasound reception. The next lady, a stupid lady, asked her, "What is your problem?" My wife started weeping and said, "I have cancer." It was a terrible blow on me. After that, for 10 years, I never allowed her to weep. Only giving confidence, faith, and guts to fight.
That is so nice. That is true.
That is what is required to be given.
Yeah.
You are sympathizing, you will only pull them down for.
Yeah. With the medication, it is so easy to become low and to become sad. If you didn't let her cry for 10 years, that is a huge achievement, Dr. Chaturvedi.
Absolutely. That is the duty of a husband. What else can you do? My 2 children are away.
Yeah.
And I am the only person with her. I was going on, and I was taking her outing. We used to go out, spend about 2 or 3 days in a resort, happily come back. So, I mean, my presence, my continuous care. And you know what? During chemotherapy, generally blood pressure goes up. And then there can be so many things that can happen in the body. It happened once. I called the doctor and then seen that proper attendance is given. So I was not leaving her alone during the chemotherapies. Stop all my work, sit down, and then be with her from the time the chemotherapy is over, especially after surgery. After surgery, she had to be attended to. I used to give her bath and then give her dress, give her food, and escort her like you call a father, or husband can be a father. Why not?
Of course, you're a caregiver. So you're saying love and positivity. Is that the most? That's care.
And building confidence. You need to make them feel, yes, I can fight. Whatever you do.
Sure.
When that is not done, they sink. And proper medication in between chemotherapies. You know what happens generally? Doctors, they are busy. You can't blame them. They see your blood test, whether WBC is low or RBC is right or not, and then immediately say, go ahead. But then, whether the patient is physically fit or not is something a caregiver only will be able to know, not anybody else.
Correct.
Luckily, what I did, feel any different. So many questions are coming in. I'm so happy about
Coming
it.
in, I'll give them to you in a while.
No problem.
We'll
No problem. You know what? One more good thing I did was, right from, she was never a good singer, or at least she was never a singer. I don't want to say never a good singer. It is wrong. And she was not knowing how to play any instrument. So from the second year onwards, I started bringing a teacher home, teaching her singing and violin.
Oh, violin.
Yes. And I understand violin is the most difficult instrument.
It is.
And he was playing so well.
Oh, lovely.
So well. And then this music avocation and has kept her so comfortable, and still I believe it's not the chemotherapies that were given for 10 years, but only the music avocation and making her forget that she's sick. It is more important. I forgot saying that. You should keep them so busy that they should forget that they're sick. That's what I do for myself.
Of cancer. Shouldn't be thinking of. So, you're saying that music, you believe that music is what helped you. You didn't give up hope. In all those 10 years, you didn't for a minute think that this could be, the cancer could go rise or it could become fatal. That did not come into your
Never.
mind.
See, cancer is cancer. Whatever should happen will happen. But how best you'll be able to give the quality life to the patient is something your concern should be. That's what I have learned.
Advice, yeah. Those are
in a decade time I spent with my wife. Now, this is what I was telling. Sorry?
That is positive. So that's love, that's positivity. You have to give them something to do. Now you're saying music is what really worked for her, and it kept her distracted from thinking about the disease and going into that loop of, oh my God, I have cancer and all of that. That negativity didn't come into the...
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is something which, and also you must give her so much of confidence. Yes, you can fight, you can win. That, see, ma'am, my personal feeling is medicines work only 30%. Your willpower, your confidence, and your fighting spirit is 70%. For any cancer survivor.
Absolutely, I agree.
I'm practicing it. Today I'm like this.
Yeah, we can see. I mean, you're talking about your wife, but you're also somebody who's been through cancer, been through chemo. You seem to have all the energy and all the positivity that is needed. So who took care of you through your cancers? Who was there for you? Who took care of you when you had cancer at that time? Who was there?
Really, my two children came with 1 month gap. One boy stayed for 1 month. The other boy stayed for 1 more month.
Okay.
Subsequently, I was doing it myself. You know what? I was not feeling sick at all. You'll be surprised to say, there was a tender that was to go on the day I had my chemo. From 10 to 2:30, I sat and had my chemo. Came back, sat with my staff. Before 12 midnight, I had seen that the tender was done and sent. I had the energy to do that. What made me do? I'm not bluffing. I'm telling you the truth. Why? What made me do that is, during that time I was working on the tender. I didn't even remember that I was sick.
So it's all mind power. It's all in the mind that you're saying, right? You don't think about it. You build confidence. You keep going. It's literally mind over the disease.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is what the disease told me, and then I told the disease how to behave.
Did music help you also through your disease?
Yes, of course. Even today, I listen good Carnatic music of M.S. Subbulakshmi or Badegula Malikan and
Ghazals and
yes, all these I listen at least for about 1 or 2 hours intermittently. In between, like I'm doing this now, Zoom. After that, for half an hour, I listen to music. Music. Some people try to give you some definitions. So-and-so music will do for cancer, so-and-so music will do for headache, so-and-so for...
Anxiety, there's special music for anxiety, there's special music for different ailments. Yeah.
That is the business spirit of a music teacher. He wants to make money out of that. Otherwise, any music is music.
Correct.
That soothes your tensions, gives relaxation, and gives you pleasure. That's what cures cancer. Your tensions increase. Yeah, tensions increase.
That the medicine only cures the disease, but everything else cures the person. It has to heal the person also, no?
Yes, yes.
So the person is healed with a lot of other things.
Yes.
It cannot be just the medicine that does it.
Absolutely. Another point, of course, I was a non-vegetarian, though I'm a Brahmin, but then I moved into vegetarian food. Vegetarian food is something that helps recover faster. This what also?
Diet is also necessary.
I'm telling you with personal experience. I hope it's not to offend people who are non-vegetarians or all that, but this is what I learned from out of my personal experience.
And your wife was also vegetarian?
Yes, sure. Right from beginning. My family, nobody touches non-vegetarian. I was traveling a lot, so sometimes you get some foods you don't get. I was also traveling into some countries like Iran, Iraq, where only non-veg is available, vegetarian food is not available. So I had to.
So you gave that up when you got cancer?
I don't travel much now. I don't travel much now. Of course, not because of COVID, even otherwise. I travel only if any assignment is there. Otherwise, my NGO, Swastava Cancer Care. The Swastava came with two words, Sanskrit words. One is Swastata, the second is Vastavita.
Yeah,
Swastata is
about that.
Swastata is recovery. Yeah. Vastavita is reality. This is the message I wanted to give to everyone, especially for cancer people. You can recover. And another thing I wanted to tell you. Now I move into villages while doing the cancer things. It's a big taboo in villages that somebody has a cancer. They think the family will be boycotted. There will not be any marriages in the family and so many other things. It is so unfortunate. My heart bleeds when I listen to that. I tell them cancer is not contagious. My disease is my disease, your disease is your disease. Not people do not know that. And people think life is over with cancer. There can be a conjugal relation, there can be childbirth, there can be marriages, everything can happen. In fact, I'm now planning actually to start a portal on matrimony for cancer survivors.
Beautiful. What a great idea.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Idea.
You know how much service you will be doing to people?
Absolutely. But again, this is people who are aware, who can understand this. How do we get this information to villages? Because villages are still living in the old information. They may not come to a portal like this. But this is the awareness that you and your organization and my organization do is exactly that. It's like getting to the villages and breaking all the myths that they already that they have in their head. So I wanted to ask you that through all this cancer of your wife and then your cancer, people would normally be more focused on getting well and getting their life going. How did you move to starting an NGO and running an NGO and doing this for other people? I mean, how did that shift happen to take away from time from your own care and your own healing and move to doing this for other people?
Actually, it so happened that, the CEO of the cancer hospital happened to be an IPS officer, retired.
Oh, okay.
And we were moving very close for 3 years. He and I, both of us left at the same time. And then we were thinking what we should do. But then we understood what exactly the suffering is in villages because of lack of knowledge about cancer. People were coming in the stage 4 where nothing can be done except palliative care. And then I thought it is our duty to see that people do not give more comfort to people and do not suffer like we did. My president, so that IPS officer has become my president. He is Mr. R.P. Singh. He was police commissioner, director general of police once upon a time when N.T. Ramarao was the chief minister. So he and I lost my wife. My treasurer lost his son with blood cancer. There's another vice president, he lost his father and sister for cancer. Like this, what we thought, we all grouped together and formed this, saying that whatever we suffered, let us see that people do not get this type of suffering for anybody. And then, simple awareness was not enough, unless it is followed by screening. So we started screening. Cervical cancer and oral cancer have a relation. HPV. You know about it. And this HPV is very high, especially in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Throughout India, I don't want to put it only to that. So, wherever there is cervical cancer, there will be oral cancer also. Or head and neck cancer because of HPV. Then, you talk of breast cancer. These are the three which are very prominent throughout the country. We thought, see, we can't take 128 cancers and start looking into it, isn't it?
You have to prioritize.
Yeah, you must choose. Like you chose only cervical cancer. You must choose only whatever that is, that little that can be done. So these three cancers we have taken and we started screening in the villages. Luckily, there were some sponsors. You know, NGOs always go empty hands. Empty hands. We need a support.
Correct.
So some support was coming in, and we were able to do this type of program. Then the principal secretary education, very very noble man, one Dr. Janardhan Reddy. I went to him and told him, sir, it is necessary that we should teach children of 8, 9 and 10, which is the puberty age, about cancers, about bad habits, about menstrual hygiene, personal hygiene, and about HPV. He said, it's a good idea, please go ahead. Then we prepared a proposal. He immediately said, see, in government, giving money is difficult, giving permissions is very easy.
Is easy. Bad habits, what do you mean?
Sorry?
When you say tell them about bad habits, what do you mean by bad habits?
Smoking, liquor.
Alcohol. So substance abuse of any kind.
Yeah, smoking, liquor, and more so when companies like ITC and other people are trying to encourage children with hookah bar, then electronic cigarettes, vaping. It is only to see that at that age they catch them young, so that lifelong they will be dependent on them. This is the plan of these tobacco companies.
For years now. It's been so many years.
So many years. And every time they innovate new products so that youngsters will be tempted. So we thought we should do that. So now we have covered about 100 schools. Fantastic results. And we also declared the school as no tobacco school.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. We monitor. Right from, we make the school management team plus parents meeting we keep and see that we talk about not having tobacco. Right from principal up to attender, watchman. Nobody will smoke. Nobody will chew tobacco. No tobacco can come into compound during working hours.
Wonderful.
Yes. This is what we have been doing now.
That's a huge achievement.
No, it is. No, but it's a huge effort.
Of course, it's a huge effort. That's why the achievement. But this tobacco awareness of this no tobacco has been known statistically to have brought down cancer to about 30% even in USA. So the study that says that when they did this whole no tobacco movement, they actually brought down incidence of cancer to almost 30%. So it is definitely an effective way to create awareness and do that. So that is something that should have results if somebody was monitoring the cancer level in your areas.
Another very valuable point, Mridu. You know what? I was chewing tobacco.
Oh.
Right from 1970 to 84, I was chewing tobacco. I was maintaining a pipe and Havana cigars and all that. I used to travel a lot. So every duty-free shop you can get real Havana cigars. And it was a style. And youth.
Your youth days, these are.
Yes, youth days. 84, my children started growing. Then I thought it's something I should give up. Overnight, I gave up. But
Oh, very good.
overnight.
Willpower.
Yes. But from 1984 up to 2016, nothing happened, but it resulted in colon cancer.
You would say that chewing tobacco resulted in
Yes,
colon cancer?
100%.
Oh,
This is what I tell children when I go. Do you see me as a cancer survivor? They say no. But it is true. I'm a cancer survivor. I got cancer because of tobacco. I got surgery done. I show the photographs to them. And my personal experience really makes them understand. I also make them take a pledge that they will not touch tobacco. They will see that their family members are given. Family members give up. Their village gives up like that, and I give them a beautiful certificate saying that they are my cancer ambassadors.
Your passion shows. I mean,
Yes.
your passion for this, for what you are doing, for sharing this, for going to talking to children, for being able to create this awareness, it comes across in when you speak and in what you do. And the fact that you have the energy at this age, it must be it's your purpose in life at the
Yes.
moment, right?
Yes, we also did one more thing. We started a flagship program. Reach them young.
Yes, I was going to ask you about this. Correct.
Yes, reach them young. We made a brochure. I'll send it to you. If I have not sent it, I'll send it to you.
But do share it with us. We'll put it up on the page also along with this talk.
Okay.
We'll put it up on the same platform.
I will send you some of the videos.
Yeah.
A video by a doctor after doing screening in a village. It's a fantastic video. You can see it on our website. Anyway, I'll also send it to you. So this is what really started giving me an impetus. I print saying that what causes cancer, and then how to prevent, how to detect, all are there in the brochure. And then that brochure is given to every child. The certificate is given. You know, they keep the certificate so precious. Good certificate. I get them signed by the sponsor. I get them signed by the DO of the district. I sign as a secretary like this. Whoever that is cooperating, I make them sign. So that they also show the commitment. It's not just signing. It does not end with signing. Signing is something that brings responsibility on them.
True.
So this is
Wonderful concept.
Sorry?
Wonderful concept.
This is what you will be surprised. I travel 40 kilometers in the morning to reach a school. Spend time 2 hours in one school, 2 hours in one school, and come back by evening. I travel because my talking will have a definite impact than anybody else talking.
What dedication.
That's what I feel. I thought I don't pass on the response. That day I won't be happy if somebody else goes in my place.
My goodness. All these 100 schools that you have spoken in, you've done it yourself.
Yes.
You have gone and spoken in these.
Of course. Every camp I go, I make sure. You know what happens? I'll tell you a big joke. I signed with one of the medical colleges in Sangareddy. The medical colleges, to see that doctors come to us. Postgraduate doctors were coming. You know what they do in the hospital? A patient goes to them, they test and tell them to come for pap smear after 4 days. There may be some menstrual cycle, or there may be some infection, some pus and all that. It should heal. They give some medicines to heal and tell them to come after 1 week. Good. After that, they will check. The pap smear will take another 15 days for them to get a report. And after the report comes, they will call the patient again or tell them come after 10 days. And subsequently, they will see whether any biopsy is required or what else is required. This is what happens in a hospital. They do not know the orientation, what happens in a village.
Yeah.
So, you'll be surprised. Doctors, nurses, I keep them for about half an hour, tell them what they should do. Otherwise,
tell them what to do.
Yes. Otherwise, all the speculums I take, I brought back one day. I said, what have you done? Sir, we have taken only the pap smear. I said, what for are the speculums given to you? Have you examined? You should examine. There could be an infection, there could be something, you should give a prescription. You should take a pap smear, or it need not be only to cervix, it can be anywhere in the part of the vagina. You should be able to check. If you don't check, what are you doing? You have not come here to only to have a cup of tea and go back. That is what happens. Unfortunately, since I am not a lady, I can't be in the room where they do the examination. So I stopped the students. I said, no, only if lecturers come, otherwise I'll hire my doctors.
Okay.
This is what happens.
Correct.
Unless every minute you check, the camp will be a waste. We also take, you'll be surprised, we take pap smear, we check with colposcopy, we do VIA and followed by colposcopy, and where we have a doubt, we also take liquid cytology sample. For one reason, that once you go to the village and take a sample, you should go only with a report and not for getting another sample. You can never get.
That's true. You'll never get them back again.
Yeah. They will not come back.
So the WHO mandate is also test and treat. So they say that do the colposcopy, do the VIA, get it right there, because you will never be able to call them back the next time. They are already afraid to do one gynae test. They're not going to come again. You should have the report the next time for them.
Mridu, what happens when you go into the village also, you must confidentially call them and tell them what they have.
It will happen,
If you really tell in public, they'll be offended, because the village may think that this lady has cancer and they may look at her as a castaway.
But we do awareness wherever we go, and we make sure that the panchayat and the men and everybody know that this is a cancer, this is how it is diagnosed, this is how it is treated, there's nothing wrong with it. All of this awareness needs to be created, of course. The screening is one part, the awareness is also very important in the villages.
We spend one full day giving awareness. Even then, there will be A&M, there will be two ladies who also attend to them. Even then, one day, a lady on the table hit the doctor with the leg, got down and went away.
We've had lots of cases like that also.
It must be the experience with everyone.
They are not used to this, so it becomes difficult, yes.
Yeah. Some lady says, my husband will take an objection.
True.
One lady with a terrible bleeding, and then bleeding while intercourse, and also pain, never complains with the husband. This is the most unfortunate thing.
My goodness.
Let me give the first food to the husband, second to the children. Agar bach gaye to main khaungi. That attitude still is not gone in the villages.
Women have got to start taking care of their own health. They have to prioritize their health. It is very important.
And male chauvinism does not permit the man to ask, why are you like this? Are you not well? They only want their desires and needs to be met. They don't even see. That is how most of the women in villages are dying.
And that is why we have such a high death rate for cervical cancer. Because of this neglect, because women won't do it for themselves and the men are not in that mind space that they will care enough. So that is the problem that we have in rural India.
Absolutely. We have a research center, a research division also. We are now coming out with cervical cancer checkup. We take blood samples, and we are now going to check for HPV and also come out with some tumor markers. We are now, our research wing is working out. We have two advisors, one from Utah in the US, another from Atlanta.
Okay.
Besides our own researchers, there's one Mahavir Samsthan here, which has got a research wing. It's an NGO like us. We have collaborated with them and we are working.
Wonderful. That's great. So now when you look at the world today with all the COVID and all the fear that people have and the fact that cancer has taken a backseat, it's not like cancer has gone away, but there's not enough support for cancer now. Now when the world opens up and everybody is becoming so much more conscious about infection and becoming a lot more conscious about self-care and prevention. With the COVID, prevention is becoming a big word. Do you think there will be any changes in how people handle health and how they handle their own preventive care for various diseases? Do you think there will be a change in mindset?
As caregivers, you and I should dream for it. You know what's happening? Today, because of COVID, cancer is ignored.
Correct.
There are more deaths of cancer than COVID. People
Correct.
are not realizing this.
Yeah.
Because no statistics is coming.
Yeah, there's no chemo, there is no surgery, all of that has been stalled. There's so many, everything has become so much more difficult.
No, Mridu, reaching a hospital became impossible. All the, ambulances are only used for carrying the dead bodies of the patients. Ambulances are not available to carry the cancer patients to the hospital for chemo and bring them back. And still in remote areas, they reverse the cot and with ropes, 4 people carry the patient. It is still happening. Can you believe?
My goodness.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll show you I'll send you one of the presentations I did in Bhutan previous December, 2019 December, no, 2018 December. There was a SAARC Federation of Oncologists conference. I went and made a presentation. I told them the fact that is happening today. I also told the doctors, my friends, don't think you are doing a great human service. You are only treating those patients who are coming to you to the hospital. But who is sending you patients? I am sending them. You are forgetting that. Grassroots people, don't forget. Don't ignore them. You must train all the NGOs on how to detect, how to send you. This is what should be part of the curriculum.
Correct.
NGOs training on screening techniques. I'm very happy to tell you, Bombay Tata Memorial started a training program on cervical cancer. I sent the mail to you, probably you have received it.
But even NICPR is doing the same thing with the same echo.
I sponsored 6 people for this program. 2 of my doctors who are treating, who are helping us. 3 scientists who are working on cervical cancer, and 2 nurses. I sponsored for this program. They are attending this program now.
Great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Grassroots level needs to learn all of this.
Yes,
so can we take a few questions now, Dr.
We shall take. Sure.
Okay, so there is the first question. According to you, is Ayurvedic medication underrated in healthcare industry in India?
Yes. The reason being, unfortunately, unpalatable to many of the specialist doctors. They think it's a threat to their medication.
Because there is not enough. Research on the Ayurvedic. There's not enough paperwork that proves the success of Ayurvedic medicines.
There is enough research. There is one separate board for Ayurvedic. But then, what they are doing, God knows. Things are not coming out.
Okay.
And some of the doctors who are treating, they are doing very, very well.
That should be spoken about. So you think healthcare industry should be able to integrate Ayurveda?
Holistic medicine must be the caption we give. It can include even chemotherapies and English medication. But holistic medicine is something that will take the whole body, not only English medicine. That's my experience.
You're coming from a place of experience. That's why
yes. My person, thank you so much. It's a very valuable question.
Right. Another one is, did you feel any difference in the behavior of your family and friends prior and during this phase? This is what you were saying, that a lot of people look at cancer differently. Did you experience that?
Not in educated families. You know what? The first thing I did was, I stopped all relations coming and seeing my wife. Because they will come and show Hamdardi to no consequence and no benefit except making her sink. I told them, you carry infection, don't come. For 1 year, I never allowed anybody to come except her parents or my parents, whom I warned, don't speak anything about her disease. That is how. Sorry?
No, sorry. Aap batao. Sorry.
See, that is what any caregiver should do. Patient should not be allowed to sink. Nobody should come and show sympathy. I don't want. You remember there is one wonderful picture where that fellow says, Bichara. No Bichara. No patient is a Bichara. Patient is patient. Patient needs to recover. Help the patient recover. Don't make them sick. Don't describe. Yes, I have seen my next door person had cancer and he died. Suppose something is told to the patient. What will happen? What are you doing? And people are capable of talking like that.
True. So the last speaker we had, Kajal Pandit, last time, she was saying that when she had cancer, there were a lot of people in her family who got cancer. And she's saying, we used to hear a lot about kya karam kare hai tumne, tumhari family mein itna cancer hai. So she says, we had to deal with this from society and from people as well as the disease.
Yeah.
So I think the question is that were there people in your family or people you knew who changed their behavior towards you all during cancer?
Luckily,
have any of such thing?
You know what? I went and stayed with my brother, with my wife, immediately after surgery for 1 year because I needed support. And
nice.
my sister-in-law had taken care of my wife like her own daughter.
So
much more than that. So, I mean, I think in educated families, these things do not happen. It's unfortunate that in rural areas, this taboo is there. But I think in our families, these things do not happen. That's my experience.
You know what it is. That's true. Okay, so there's another question. At some point, a caregiver also goes through a lot of emotional turmoil because of the situation. But your story gives a lot of positivity. What kept you positive all the time? Correct. What kept you positive that you could keep your wife positive?
Lot of love for her. Lot of concern for her. Right? And my responsibility as a husband.
So you didn't need any support for yourself? Did you go to somebody and speak about your issues to be positive for her?
I think I'm a very strong man. I have been one.
Must have been exceptional. Very strong. For her and then for yourself also. And now for so many other people also.
Yes.
So obviously your strength is something that has held you through, right? Across all the things life has given you.
Most of my families rated me as the best husband.
Oh, how nice. That's the reward.
Yeah.
True. So this is a large question. What is your message to other cancer fighters?
Cancer is not contagious. Your cancer is your cancer, my cancer is my cancer. Don't think with cancer every life has come down. No. There is life after cancer. You can have your sexual life, you can have your marital life, you can also have children, you can get married. In fact, it is not a surprise to public, I want to tell. I'm looking for a cancer survivor to marry now.
Oh,
so that I can support her. I can support her and she can be a support to me.
Absolutely. You need companionship at this age.
Yes.
Why not?
I need somebody. I'm finding it very difficult to live alone. I can do service to her. She can do service to me if required.
Absolutely. And you're a sign that cancer is not the end of life. Look at the amount of energy you have. That should be something for all cancer survivors to see.
And she can't infect me with her cancer. I can't infect her. So, what is wrong?
That is so positive. That is just wonderful.
And if you cooperate, we'll really create a matrimony column. Cancer survivor matrimony. We'll work together.
Beautiful.
Yes.
So the next question is almost the same thing. What are your views on life? Has this concept or has this disease changed your mind because of cancer? I mean, whatever your views of life are, did they change because of cancer?
Yes. I have become stronger. I want to really fight. And I want to see that my rest of the life is spent only to do service to people. It's for the God to decide whether He wants to keep me or take me away. I'm sure He will keep me because I'm doing honest, sincere service to people.
So beautiful.
Have I answered the question?
So beautiful. That is beautiful. You're saying that cancer made you stronger, but you were strong even before. So it must have made you really strong now that you can take on all of this.
Yes, another question came. Cancer is a disease empathizes what?
Empties our pocket. How did you deal with financial crisis? Cancer is an expensive disease.
That is a very
years.
Very valuable question. It had cost a lot for my wife and also for me.
Correct.
For 10 years, to give a quality life, I had to melt my landed property, bank balance. Well, what ultimately I could do is my personal satisfaction that I've given very wonderful and quality life as long as she lived. But I don't carry any property. I carry the satisfaction.
That is beautiful. That is so nice. But then you could do it. How do you think other people will be able to do it? Not everybody has the means to actually fight cancer for so long. That itself is a depressing thought. That I don't have the money to be able to deal. We've seen it a lot. Financial aid for cancer patients is a huge area that everybody is running around with.
I have a panel. See, luckily, still the document has to come. Indian Cancer Society is patronizing Swastava Cancer Care. Okay? So, I'll get support from them.
Correct.
They have got their accredited hospitals where, for those people, I'm not talking of people who can spend. For people whose family income is not more than 2 lakhs and where the doctor certifies that the patient survival chances are more than 50%, they will provide surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy and all these things. So I'll bank on them. Plus, I'm also creating some corpus slowly so that, see, I know it is a very difficult area to deal with patients. That's why I've still not taken up that. I did only about awareness and early cancer detection, but government of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have got a scheme known as Aragyashri. This Aragyashri is a scheme where even corporate hospitals can give treatment for these people. But the gap is that they start taking only when it is diagnosed. Our screening does not give diagnosis. It's a pre-cancer test.
Correct.
It's not a diagnosis.
You'll have to get a biopsy done somewhere before.
Biopsy done or a PET CT done or a mammogram done. All these things have to be done. Who will give money for that? That's why I'm making a project where some money is given for that also. I'm now approaching corporate for 10% of the total people. I want to cover about 54,000 people, women, in coming 3 years. 18,150 per camp. 10 camps I want to do every month. Out of that, 10% of the people I'm asking for average of 3,000 rupees for post screening, diagnostic tests.
Correct.
See, it can be 10,000 for somebody or it can be 0 for somebody. An average of 3,000 rupees will do a lot of good. Correct. So I'm asking for that as a separate fund where I pay to the institution, not to the patient, for the test done. When in a month they consolidate and then send me a bill for which I clear. Sure. This is what I will patronize a few diagnostic centers closer so that things can happen. I carry all the slides and give it personally to a diagnostic center. Perhaps their slides. Yes, I do.
Oh.
Yes. Ma'am, when you accept to do something, you must do fully. Otherwise, you should not even start.
Beautiful.
That's what I personally feel.
That is really beautiful. So our whole topic is on hope, positivity and courage. And absolutely. I think with you, all these things are magnified. The courage is like, you can see how much courage you have. So positive, so full of life. You're making big plans. You're looking at not only yourself, but other people. There's that much positivity that I can help others too.
What are the challenges, NGOs? What is that? And another question came up.
What are the challenges NGOs are facing currently in India?
We have already talked about it.
But we spoke about it not on live. At that time, we were not live.
Okay.
Now we are live.
Now let me be live to the point and be cautious in whatever remarks I make because it's live.
Yes.
NGOs are really suffering because all CSR money has gone to Prime Minister's fund. And grassroots level work has stopped. I have stopped. Of course, COVID stopped it. I can't go and do any screening today because of COVID. Government, state governments and government of India has not given permission.
Correct.
But when they give permission, what do? NGOs cannot spend their money. They are not corporate. I don't have any money.
Right.
So I'll be sitting like a lame fellow, both the hands cut. That's what is the fate of NGOs today for coming 1 year.
This financial year.
We have to tide over.
Yeah. Somehow
but there could be some corporate who would have saved some money. You should be able to tap them and then get the support.
Correct. Money has either gone to the PM CARES fund or it's gone to COVID. Either way, it's been divided between these two areas and there is nothing for any other cause at the moment. All other causes have taken a back seat.
And Government of India funds for NGOs are not coming out.
Correct.
See, I went to my health secretary and then asked for funds to do programs on tobacco. She said all money is going for COVID. And she must take permission from government for any money to be given because in their scheme on tobacco control, Government of India Tobacco Control Program, National Tobacco Control Program, there is a clause. They must encourage NGOs, but they did not say that NGOs can be given funds.
Government doesn't give funds. They encourage you by giving you permissions and giving you infrastructure or whatever. You can go to schools, you can go and talk about it in bastis, you can work with police, you can work with that. But they don't give funds.
But Mridu, tell me something. We are working in spite of them.
Correct. They are all
do
running
we need their support? Except some government clearances if required.
Yeah.
Okay, government school you have to enter, you need government permission.
Correct.
For that we have to take, nothing more.
Yeah. True. We all have to go running around looking for our own funding.
Yes.
That is true.
So NGOs should become proactive and find where money is. पैसे सूंघना शुरू करना. You must learn. Where money is, smell it, go catch it. For 1 year, we have to live like this.
Yeah. That is the largest challenge this year.
Big challenge.
Funding, yes.
I am actually looking for 1 crore of rupees every year for my camps, screening camps, and 1 crore for buying a mammogram van. I'm just thinking whom I should approach. Anyway, privately I'll come to Mridu
we'll speak
to
about
take her advice. Take her advice.
Speak about this offline and we'll see how we
That's
can.
what. I said privately I'll come to you to take your advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
any more questions are there on the chat box?
Any other questions? Please share them with us. That's all.
Okay.
No
good.
other questions. So, Dr. Chaturvedi, you have epitomized all the points that we wanted to talk about.
Thank you
we
so much.
On positivity, but your whole talk was very positive and very hopeful, and it was everything that we could have asked to share with our people. I'm sure there's a lot of information in this that we can share with our viewers. All that you have said and done, and how you have moved to caring about people from being a cancer survivor and a caregiver, and now you're running an NGO that helps people. It is a great journey to talk about. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
But I have my sincere apologies if I have talked something which is not, which is distasteful to any. I hope it is not there.
I'm sure it won't be. Everybody is struggling. Everybody is learning from each other. So it's nice that you spoke so candidly and so openly. We have a lot to learn from you. And we are going to ensure that your information reaches as many as possible, and they are all able to learn and gain from this. It's a great inspirational story.
Thank you so much.
Share it with as many as we can. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us
Thank
on
you.
this great auspicious day. And thank you for sharing your story with us. I'm sure it's going to be a big help for people. Thank you, Doctor.
Sarve jana sukhino bhavantu. Thank you.